How is everyone doing tonight? It is Coach Kate, and we are here to talk about money mindset. We're going to investigate why it is that we all feel that icky, that we all want to hack up when we talk about money. I am so glad to have you all here, and really hope that by the end of this session that you have a deeper understanding of what particularly for you gives you whatever feels that it is when you think about money, and that you have the tools to then take that existing mindset and turn it into something that can actually help facilitate your goals moving forward. And we're going to use a couple crazy different techniques that are totally proven. So if you're new to EFT, the emotional freedom technique, hang in there with me. It's interesting your first time around, but ever so powerful. If you are going to play along with all of our activities to investigate your money mindset, there is a worksheet posted in Facebook or at captivateme.com/money-mindset, or just have a journal or your notebook or whatever piece of paper around so that you can document not only what you discover, but you also will document some ideas and some actions that you can implement right away. So go ahead and grab those. If not, hey Mark, hey Vanessa, so good to see you guys. I did this exercise with my mastermind group last month, and it brought up a lot of deep things because how we feel about money and what we think is based on a lifetime of experiences from your family, and not just maybe how much your parents made, but how much your grandparents made or your great-great-grandparents made, and how did they make that money, and do you have to do as well as them? Can you not do as well as them? Are they too big of shoes to fill? Personal experiences. Maybe as a child you lost $5 and someone told you that you were bad at managing money, you couldn't be trusted. That is going to subconsciously still affect what's going on today. So think about some of those personal experiences that start to come up when you think about money. Also, what about TV and books, mainstream media? Think about how often the wealthiest are portrayed in movies, right? They're often the bad guy. And it gives us this feeling that, oh, people with money are greedy and douchey and evil and out to get us. And we really want to be on the right side, right? We want to have an appropriate amount of money. I don't want to be extremely wealthy, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying, right? There's a connotation there with that too. We also have more recent experiences that may affect our money mindset. For instance, your expenses, your budget, right? That creates this mindset of at least, right? I need at least this much to get by. As long as I have this much, I'll be okay, right? It can keep you working and just living dollar to dollar. And so it's really important to take a look at everything that builds up to create this mindset, because no matter how hard we try, we're gonna have to deal with money, right? We can be working to live off the grid and grow all of our own foods, right? But at the end of the day, we usually at some point in time have to interact or deal with currency, money of some sort, right? It's not like snakes where we can create this whole world of we don't want to deal with snakes, right? Money we have to interact with. So there is just that general uncomfort just from that forcing that we all have to work within, that we're all uncomfortable with. And then we have this slew of personal things that come on top of it. Hi, Jilly, I love you. Right, and so when you think about all of that mindset and lifetime of experiences, it actually adds up to a pretty particular figure in your mind of an amount of money that you feel comfortable and safe with. And we like to call this the financial thermostat, right? And it's why we see lottery winners return back to their previous wealth and place. And, you know, we just have this subconscious and conscious way of always trying to get ourselves back to that comfort zone. And you'll notice as you interact with others in your lives, with partners in your lives, that everyone's thermostat is tuned differently. Everyone's mindset was created differently. And for that reason, we'll all react in different ways. I love that the sun is setting here in Denver. I was so excited to have natural light, and now I'm getting these epic rays. I swear it'll go away in a minute. And so really, this idea of I feel comfortable with this amount of money and everything that's wrapped up with that, that money mindset is the basis for all the financial actions that you take. So we're gonna start assessing your current mindset, and then we're gonna do a round of tapping to start to reduce the intensity of the related emotions. From there, we're going to talk about a couple more activities. They're also in the workbook to help you focus on an evolved, abundant money mindset. And we're going to do some supporting habits, a mantra, check out the financial wheel of life for guidance. So yeah, let's get going on what might be there for you individually. So we're just going to take a moment now to do a bit of a visualization. So now is the time to have your pen and paper out, but get comfortable. If you'd like, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths and relax. And as you relax, I want you to think about having more money. Like a lot more money, not in a seem like affinity type number that no human can possibly grasp, right? But a number that could provide you with your dream lifestyle, right? And think about that dream lifestyle. What kind of house do you live in? What kind of car do you drive? What's your wardrobe like? What kind of clothes are you wearing? Are you traveling luxuriously? What are your relationships like when you have all that money? Are the same people in your life or different people in your life? How do you spend your time in that dream lifestyle? What life are you living when you have all that money in the bank? take a moment to jot all the thoughts coming down when you envision this dream life. Let your desires run free. And write down all the areas in your life that you want to level up in. Right? Nothing is too big for this exercise. Take a look at what you've already written down and think bigger. It's not about what's possible for you right now. It's about what you desire now and what you're going to manifest for yourself and your loved ones through purpose-driven action. Right? So what does that dream life look like? And if you're a business owner, I push you to think about, what does that dream business look like? If you woke up tomorrow and your business just was like hugely successful and all this money was coming in the door, what would be happening in life? What could you see as you looked around that would show you that you were living that dream life? And as you've jotted down those ideas, and you can take more time with this, I really want you to start to think about, what is life like if you had all of that money? What is life like? Is it carefree? Is it filled with fun? Or is there something else there? So now I want you to check in on your body and your emotions and jot down on a scale of 0 to 10, how comfortable do you feel thinking about that life? How comfortable? Scale of 1 to 10, how safe? How safe do you feel thinking about living that life with all that money? Scale of 0 to 10. How worthy and deserved do you feel thinking about that life? And if you'd like to share with the group on Insta or Facebook, wherever you're finding us today, how you're feeling, I invite you to do that. But it's important to at least bring awareness to yourself, because a couple of the exercises that we're going to do are meant to relieve that tension. And I want you to really notice and jot down how you feel physically and emotionally thinking about living that life. Like, what comes up for you? And I would love to hear what comes up for you. I know when I did this exercise the first time, my first thought was, oh wow, that's gonna be a lot of work. And I felt this anxious pressure in my chest and weight on my shoulders. Like, if I'm making all of this money and I run my own business, like, this is all based on my own work, right? But then there's also this other side of it of joy and freedom. The next question for you to ponder is, if as you've been doing this exercise, have any thoughts, memories, phrases, or beliefs started to come up? And when I say that, maybe it's like that memory of of being a kid and being told you're bad with money, or maybe it's a more recent memory of being between jobs and really struggling to pay rent. Maybe some beliefs that you don't deserve the money, or artists aren't wealthy, writers can't make money, coaches don't make anything, right? What are the things that start to peak up that inner critic when you start to envision yourself having that life that you've always dreamed of? All of these thoughts are some of those subconscious things that are informing your money mindset. And we're going to use EFT to work through that. But if you've been coaching with me or following along or playing along before, you might also be familiar with the inner B to inner BFF translation exercise and the assumptions test. And that is also a great exercise to work on all of these thoughts and limiting beliefs that come up. So I want you to now take a moment and think about what you've learned about your current money mindset. Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it afraid? Is it curious? Is it unsure? Is it tied to your childhood more than you could ever imagine? Is it tied to your values or work ethic? Do you know where you feel it in your body? Every time you think about doing your budget, do you feel it somewhere particular? Right? What have you learned about your current mindset? And we're going to talk about more about how you can turn that into being more positive and seeing more opportunities and recognizing flexibility of getting help from others, right? Small steps add up to progress, right? We want to start shifting this mindset. So if you see any key areas right away, jot that down of how could you start shifting this existing mindset into something a little bit more positive. How could you flip it just a little bit to get closer to your goals and your dream life? So if you're like me and most humans, doing this exercise has conjured up a whole slew of emotions. And these emotions and these limiting beliefs are your money blocks, right? These money blocks are what slow you down or stop you from taking action to make more money. Our beliefs create our emotions drive our actions, and our actions allow or block money into our lives. Right, so the goal is we're going to clear the emotional charge to master our money, right? And that emotional clearing is where tapping, aka EFT, aka the emotional freedom technique, comes in. For those of you who have not heard of EFT, the emotional freedom technique, it is based on Chinese acupressure and psychology that basically they've found that when you think specific thoughts, specifically put your attention on negative thoughts, like some of those that have just arisen, while tapping certain meridians on your body, that you actually disconnect and discharge the emotion and the physical reaction from the thought, right? It's really hard for fight or flight and my body to be thinking I'm chased by a bear when I'm going through this particular tapping exercise. So that's where this comes from. There's so much research out there about the benefits of tapping, what it can be used on. I was introduced to it by my therapist. We did it together for some complicated grieving so that I could think about and talk about some issues without just going totally into grief mode. I have since made it a core part of my anxiety management, sleep management, letting go of a variety of things. People have great success at it for weight management, weight loss, all sorts of things. I've been posting resources all month about great tapping. One in particular is the tapping solution. I encourage you to check it out and learn more and see the benefits that it could have for you. Today I'm going to take you through a specific tapping script, which is in the workbook, so you can follow along or recreate this yourself in the future. And this is really designed to help us get at all of those emotions and things that have come up as we've been talking about money. So these scripts are customizable. There are tons of videos out there to do them along. And just know that like anything in life, the little steps add up. So we're going to do this once today, one big round, and we're going to see how it's changed our emotional charge. We're going to take note before and after. But I encourage you to do a month of this. Do a 28-day challenge and tap every single day. Come back to this video and I'll mark, you know, where we start doing it at like 23 minutes or whatever, or tap by yourself. But I really encourage you, because what happens when you think about these thoughts and you start stimulating these areas of your brain is that all these other thoughts and emotions come up. So sometimes it takes a while, it takes a little bit to work through everything. So just keep at it. I encourage you just to keep tapping. If something tough comes up, especially if something tough comes up, you know, please tap on that and know that it will continue to break down those layers. And so, yeah, you might be totally surprised about what comes up when we start tapping together. There are a couple tapping points that you should know if you're going to be tapping along with me today. The first is what we call the karate chop point, right? Yeah, that's the karate chop point. And then the other points, you're just gonna, you know, take 2 fingers or your little 3 fingers or something. We start with, I think we're starting top of the head on this round. Eyebrow, side eye, under nose, under mouth. And then it's kind of like your clavicle. And then it's under your arm. About a hand down. For most females, it's like where your bra strap hits, just a light tapping, and then on your head. We do tap while saying specific segments of the script. However, if you miss one or double one or something like that, don't worry about it. Just finish tapping in sequence. I encourage you to tap along with me, repeat out loud what I say, or at least internally. Where you would like, you're also welcome to substitute your own feelings or emotions. And I encourage you to think about that moving forward, of how do you really apply this exercise to your own personal experience. So without further ado, I'm going to mark this at 25 in. Let's start thinking about that dream budget or a particular money topic on your mind that maybe you have to tackle. Like maybe you need to do your taxes. It's tax season, guys. Sorry if I just brought up a lot of nerves for folks, but maybe there's a particular money topic on your mind, okay? And what I want you to do is identify that emotion, that emotional block, and rate the intensity on a scale of 1 to 10. So you might also have a couple of emotions going on, but I encourage you to focus on 1. My anxiety right now is an 8 when I think about getting my taxes done, or I've got an angry 6. So just note that, okay? And then I want you to go ahead and tap on the karate chop of one hand with the gently cupped fingers of the other while repeating out loud or simply listening to the following statements. And I encourage you to tap even if you feel like you're okay or good enough in the area. We often try to stay positive and ignore what may be simmering underneath. Even though it hurts to not have enough money for all that I want and need, I deeply and completely love, accept, and appreciate myself. Even though my life feels so restricted because of not having enough money, I deeply and completely love, accept, and appreciate myself. Even though I'm afraid it is very difficult to pull in money, I am open to learning how to release this fear around money and invite more of it into my life. Okay, we're going to start with the eyebrow point. Life feels so restricted. I just never have enough money. I'm always worried too. It worries to think I may not have enough for the future. This worry is always there in the back of my mind, reminding me to curb my spending every step of the way. This economy isn't helping either. There's so many things that I deeply want. There are some things that I deeply need, all out of my reach because of not having enough money. I feel like I'm choking. I need more breathing room. I feel like a failure for not bringing in enough money. I feel ashamed that I'm not good enough to bring in enough money. I feel angry for not having enough money. I feel so dejected that nothing I do brings in enough money. I feel like it is futile to expect that I can have enough money. Life has become this struggle to make enough money just to survive. I am undercutting my existence by living in such a restricted way. Just because of not having enough money. I could use more breathing room when it comes to money. I feel weighed down by the financial demands of my life. It feels like I was given the priceless human life, only to be bound at every step of the way by my lack of money. I try really hard to make sure my loved ones have everything they need. Money needs me just as much as I need it. I am the source, the conduit, and the receiver of money. Money flows through me easily and effortlessly. I help my money grow. My money helps me grow. It's a win-win. I'm finally making friends with my money and feeling calm and confident. So take a deep breath and note again now on that 0 to 10 or 1 to 10 scale how you're feeling, that intensity of that emotion. I'd love to hear from you who may have participated, if it's made a difference, if you felt the impact, if it's maybe brought you down just a little. And as I said, this is really about small steps that add up. I seriously challenge you to a 28-day, do it every single day, 30 days, right? And you will feel the impact on removing the emotional charge related to money so that you can talk about money, so you can work on your finances, so you can go and enjoy life and eat meals or buy dinner or budget appropriately or whatever that is without going into fight or flight. So it's important to take something away from the tapping. Often things come up when you're tapping, other thoughts or beliefs, or maybe there's still something nagging you from doing the dream life visualization. So jot down 3 things that came up that are holding you back, that are blocks that you want to keep working on. 3 things that came up that are holding you back. You're going to keep tapping on. And then also 3 things that you can do to start overcoming or testing those blocks. Right? Maybe one of them is tap on it. Tap on it. I'm going to encourage you to choose to do one of those things. Commit to one of them. If you're my client, I'd be telling you to put it in your satisfaction plan, right? But at least get it in your calendar, right? And one of the things that you can do is create that new mindset, create an abundance story, create a new mantra, and all of that fun stuff is in my workbook. It's really about changing your perspective from I live paycheck to paycheck to I'll have more than enough customers to support my financial goals, right? I'm afraid to spend money to I will always have more than I need. I'll never be able to afford that. To I am making more and more money. Right? Think about how you can really shift that mindset from scarcity to abundance and really change the story that you're telling yourself, right? And use a mantra to support a specific goal that you've just outlined for yourself. And to do that is pretty easy. So identify your specific goal. For instance, I've been looking to save money for more personal adventures. Okay, so the second step is to identify a supporting habit. So one might be to budget with more coupons for grocery deals and discounts, and any savings go to the travel fund, right? So like, how much can I save on groceries? Because that's going to party, right? Cool. Step 3, or C, or whatever I've been saying, you want to turn that thought into an easily repeatable phrase like save and play all the ways. Right? And then repeat your mantra, write it down, post it in various places. I am a money magnet. I can look at my finances without fear. I am worthy of all the richness I desire. Save and play all the way. Last piece of advice I have for you is something called the financial wheel of life. And just as we look at all the areas of what makes our lives flourish, from our financial health to our physical health, our relationships, our family, our friends, our career, personal development, spirituality, romance, all of these wonderful things, we need to keep a balanced look at everything in our finances well. And often we get sucked into or really focused on one area of the wheel. And this is just a really helpful activity to take that step back and say, am I looking at all areas of the financial picture? And gives a little bit more direction. That is in the workbook. So I encourage you to grab that at captivateme.com/money-mindset. But basically it says there are 8 key categories that you should be looking at when you think about assessing where you currently are and where you want to put your efforts. So you have your savings, right? Money that you set aside every month to reach your goals or overcome challenges. You have your debt that you want to work to keep under control and minimize so it doesn't turn into a monster, but use it wisely. There's budgeting, making sure your bills or expenses are balanced with what you earn. We have basic needs, life necessities like housing, transportation, life insurance. There's a category for health needs, right? Keeping yourself and your family healthy and in case of emergency is important. The next category is banking. It's really important to take time to compare your accounts, monitor transaction, make sure there's nothing fraudulent going on. My partner is great at this. I'm terrible at that. Then we have retirement, maintaining a lasting financial stability even into your golden years. And then your credit record, making sure your credit report is clean and you're maximizing your credit score. Right, so as I've gone around that circle, I'm guessing there have been a couple of those that you've jumped out at and said, oh, I haven't thought about that in a bit. Or like, yeah, all I do is budget. Maybe there's something else I need to look at, right? So go to captivateme.com/money-mindset if you'd like that worksheet to do that assessment. It's also got the money mantra template in it, the tapping script that we did together, the visualization, all of it in there. Get it, love it, do this every single day, because money unfolds. Right? It's not always going to be this lump sum, right? And what did we just learn? That lump sum isn't always just helpful, right? It's about getting this mindset-driven behavior. It's a process that adds up, just like tapping. So I encourage you to tap daily and know that the ick is not about money. It's often about avoiding change, right? So be easy and be gentle with yourself intellectually. We're all able to see through, you know, all these limiting beliefs that get in our head. But we're just wired this way, right? So be kind to yourself, and continue to look at working on these areas that come up beyond money. For instance, for me, when I did the tapping the first time around, I had some social anxiety feelings come up and some fear of plane flight, long flights come up. So these things that are tied to like key savings goal that I have that actually like feel some anxiety about, right? Like, so I got to work on that because I want to do all these things. I want to go all these places. So something more to tap on has nothing to do, and I can now separate that from saving and feeling good about growing that fund. So that, my friends, is all for us today in terms of money mindset. I hope you learned just so much about yourself and at least have a new perspective on why it is that you feel the way you do about money, that you are not alone, that everyone has some kind of ick, and that just step by step, day by day, little goals, whether they're small financial habits supported by a mantra, you know, you're just saving a little or changing a new habit, little steps add up a long, long way. So stay at it, and I hope you all have a lovely, lovely evening and happy spring.